After a 13-year hiatus, the TopSpin series has made a dramatic comeback with TopSpin 2K25. Its engaging gameplay and compelling MyCAREER mode make it a winning return, despite some unforced errors. Since TopSpin 4 was released back in 2011, various tennis games have tried and failed to replicate its success and popularity. Whether through a lack of official licensing for tournaments and players, or subpar gameplay, no one has served up a truly standout offering during the franchise's hiatus. Until now. Series director Remy Ercolani is back on court with TopSpin 2K25 and it's on form as ever. In my TopSpin 2K25 preview last month, I said that the series could be set for a Grand Slam return. And while it falls just short of that, TopSpin veterans definitely won't be disappointed. It scratches that decade-long itch and is by far the best tennis game available today. What I love most about TopSpin 2K25's gameplay is just how difficult it is to master. For players already familiar with the series, the gameplay will feel reassuringly similar, but the addition of a new shot timing meter, which gives you instant feedback as opposed to previous TopSpin titles that only gave feedback after the ball had been hit, makes it more dynamic than ever. While the perfect shot window in the meter remains the same size, no matter what's happening on court, the speed of the meter movement can increase significantly depending on the circumstance. That ranges from if your player is tired, if your opponent hits a perfect shot, if you're trying to return a fast serve, in the latter stages of a long rally, or any other similarly tricky scenario. As a result, those insanely long rallies of TopSpin 4 are a thing of the past. With every passing shot, it gets more and more difficult to hit that green time shot. This is obviously more realistic, but it also means every rally is a hard-fought contest of skill and endurance. You're going to have some seriously sweaty palms the more matches you rack up. Nailing the perfect green timing is only the tip of the iceberg though, because there's a lot to think about before every single shot. In less than a second, you have to consider where to position your player, where to aim, what type of shot you're going for, and where your player will end up when you're done. If you didn't know already, surprise! Tennis is hard. There are a few additions which won't be familiar for returning players, and one of those is the new serving mechanic. The basic serve is still triggered by tapping one of the shot buttons, but aiming is now done by moving a circle with your left stick. With the advanced serve, instead of pressing and holding a shot button, you now have to flick up the right stick, aim with your left stick, and then flick up the right stick again, all while trying to find that magical green spot on the timing meter. Not only does this change in mechanics give you more control, but it's the most satisfying a serve has felt across the entire series. Whether you're a veteran looking to get to grips with these changes or a newcomer, the TopSpin Academy mode, which is voiced by the mercurial John McEnroe,
really great work out there,
is a great place to start. This training area not only gives players a fantastic insight into the game's mechanics, which can be found in the basics section, but also the sport of tennis itself, offering genuinely excellent advice about specific playstyles, when to play certain shots, and much more besides. No matter what level of player you are, I'd recommend going through all of the lessons available, as there's always something to learn. With so many variables at play, TopSpin 2K25 has a nice skill gap, making you feel like you're improving with every match, and it makes victory all the more satisfying. As someone who was obsessed with TopSpin 4 and is already somewhat familiar with the game's mechanics, I was pleasantly surprised at how challenging the harder mode's AI is. Yes, it's hard to master, and it might take a while, but you'll have a lot of fun in the process. What more can you ask for? Now, TopSpin 2K25 wouldn't be a TopSpin title without a single player career mode, and the new iteration, MyCAREER, shares a lot of similarities with versions that have come before, but with some much needed changes. As always, the premise of the career mode is to create your own player, win tournaments, level up their attributes, and eventually battle it out against the best players in the world in major tournaments to become a Grand Slam champion. The player creator is incredibly comprehensive, offering a plethora of customization options that let you tweak facial features including the eyes, nose, mouth, skin, complexion, chin, eyebrows, and ears. As character creators go, it's pretty good for a sports game, but don't expect anything to the extent of the likes of Dragon's Dogma 2 or Elden Ring. As with TopSpin 4's career mode, TopSpin 2K25's MyCAREER uses a calendar mode to progress time, with players able to do a training session, complete one special event, and compete in a tournament during each calendar month. This is how players level up their character and earn the game's aptly named virtual currency, VC. The in-game currency can be used to buy cosmetics like outfits, rackets, glasses, and more if you're into that sort of thing. This is where the grind begins, because early on, your player will be severely underpowered compared to the opponents you face. So completing every single event is vital if you want to level up at a decent pace, on the harder difficulties in particular. But where TopSpin 2K25's MyCAREER breaks away from the series' mold is the difficulty, and how long it takes to get your player to a reasonable level. And believe me, you're going to have a lot of reality checks along the way. After reaching the gold level of training activities and special events in year 3, I was able to enter an ATP Masters 1000 event, and being the confident player that I am, I thought, what the hell, and signed up. But with my player only being level 8, I was absolutely destroyed by Frances TFO in the quarterfinal. And that's me sugarcoating it. That's the sort of thing that just didn't happen to me in TopSpin 4. There's also the curveball of the fitness meter, adding an additional layer of difficulty to the mode, with flights to and from events, the amount of time it takes for you to get through a match, and even how many power shots you do during these matches seriously impacting your fitness. If you're low on fitness going into a tournament or an event, not only will you find running out of stamina very quickly during matches, but you'll also risk a minor or major injury that forces you to miss out on months of action and precious XP. Honestly, I'm a few years into my journey in my career, and I'm still quite a way away from being able to compete in Grand Slam tournaments like Wimbledon, Roland Garros, the US Open, and the Australian Open, which are all officially licensed. More on that later. For some players, I understand if they might feel the MyCAREER grind is just too much. It is quite savage at times. But as someone who enjoys the Ultimate Team grind in EAFC 24, I'm enjoying my slow journey to becoming an elite player. And look, it wouldn't be much fun if you could just complete it in a matter of days now, would it? My main concern with the pre-launch build of the game was how it looked. And I'm sad to say that some serious graphical issues are present in the final version. When you first boot up the game, there's a short cutscene showing Andy Murray taking on Roger Federer at Wimbledon. I was left mouth agog for all the wrong reasons. Andy Murray's likeness is unforgivably bad. So bad, in fact, that I was seriously questioning whether it was actually supposed to be him or not. If I said that Murray's player looked more like Beavis of Beavis and Butthead fame than Murray himself, that wouldn't be an exaggeration. Federer's appearance is much more lifelike, largely because the Swiss legend did some motion capture for this game. But the veins in his arm are comically overpronounced. They look like a couple of bags of snakes. There's also the various strange graphical and physics anomalies that catch the eye, including racket bags clipping through tops, weirdly hanging fabric, questionable hair physics, slow loading textures, wooden generic crowds, and the strange robotic player movements when sitting down, to reel off a few examples. If you compare TopSpin 2K25 from a purely graphical perspective to other sports titles like FC24, NBA 2K24, WWE 2K24, and even F1 23, in terms of player likeness and texture quality, it falls short of what I'd expect from a current gen game. That being said, during the matches themselves, when you don't have to look at the fine detail up close, TopSpin 2K25 looks fantastic. On grass and clay surfaces, feet and slide marks appear as your player moves around the court, which is a really nice touch. The venues themselves also look good, with decent enough shadows and lighting. Plus, there are certain players like Serena Williams and Roger Federer who have unique animations that add fantastic elements of realism. But I have to say, none of that has managed to eclipse the close-up shot of Murray that's living rent-free in my head, which is a real shame. And that brings me to the game's licensing and player roster. And look, let's get the good news out of the way first, because TopSpin 2K25 features all 4 Grand Slam venues, including Wimbledon, which was missing from TopSpin 4 of course, Roland Garros, the US Open and the Australian Open, as well as all 9 ATP Masters 1000 venues, with 48 unique courts available or unlockable at launch. But there are only 25 playable professional players available at launch, with some notable exclusions, including 2 of the best players the sport has ever seen in Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic, and only 2 players from the top 10 ranked men's players, Carlos Alcaraz and Daniil Medvedev, feature in the game. And it's the same story with women's players too, although at least it's world number 1 Iga Swiatek and number 3 Coco Gauff. There's a strong selection of retired players, including Federer, Williams, McEnroe, Maria Sharapova, Andre Agassi, Caroline Wozniacki, Pete Sampras and Steffi Graf. But again, if you can compare TopSpin 2K25 to other officially licensed, recently released sports games, none are missing such a vast number of prominent current players. Imagine an F1 game without half the grid, it just wouldn't work. 2K has said that it's building out the roster after launch, and any new additions will be free for all players. But 25 players at launch feels like a pretty light roster, to say the least. It's something I can overlook, but other players might not be able to. Then there's the curious lack of online multiplayer between friends being available at launch, with that set to be added to the game before the end of May, despite online exhibition multiplayer and World Tour, in which you use your custom player from MyCAREER against other creative players in a ranked format being available. Overall, TopSpin 2K25 is a strong return for the series. Its challenging yet fun gameplay combined with an engaging and extensive MyCAREER mode makes it a more than worthy entry to the iconic tennis franchise. It's not quite the Grand Slam return I was hoping for, with some subpar graphics and a thin player roster holding it back from being the ace that it could have been. But look, gameplay is king, and TopSpin 2K25 is the return to form that we've been missing since TopSpin 4, delivering a challenging yet fun experience for novice and experienced players alike. Here at Mirror Gaming, we give TopSpin 2K25 a rating of 4 out of 5 stars. Let us know down in the comment section below whether you agreed or disagreed with any of my opinion about the game. We'd honestly love to hear your feedback, so let us know in that section below. And if you enjoyed the video, why not drop a like and get subscribed to the channel? We've got loads more game reviews, previews, how-tos, and even more coming up in the very near future, and you're not going to want to miss that, so get subscribed. But that's all from me. See you in the next one.